you can see where we did have trees, really large old growth trees. We had like a 60-foot pine. And
for Cindy and Casey Dietz, life is finally getting back to normal.
what has helped us get through it has been, as Cindy said, our faith. That was actually the number one thing. We had to rely on God, number one, and we had to rely on help from so many different people.
The First Lutheran couple has been living in temporary housing these past 9 months while workers rebuilt their home. Cindy took this home video of the sustained 140-mile-an-hour winds that fateful day last August. The derecho crashed 2 massive trees into their home, including this one through their bedroom ceiling.
There was this huge boom, and the house just shook. I mean, it was, and I immediately ran down the steps.
A number of large tree stumps now mark where beautiful towering trees once stood to shade Dietz's backyard and provide their family with many memories. But just like the stump of Jesse, they already see sprouts of life shooting forth in their lives.
So one of the things that was really hard for us was asking for help, because usually we're the ones, and as I said, we have the means and the ability. So to ask for help and just again to have that renewed faith and in all those friendships and relationships. But I'll say, for the physical, material house, as Casey said before, it was damaged, but, it's coming back better.
Like many of us, the last year has been challenging to get through with the pandemic, the loss of trees in the derecho, and the long recovery process. The couple has replanted 2 new baby trees. Just like the new seedlings, Casey is confident God will replant the church. What has God taught you about through all this, Casey?
That I need to, number one, rely on Him. We can't rely on ourselves. The derecho was so out of our control. There was nothing we could do. The destruction came. Where were we to turn, right? So that was the first thing we did was, said a quick prayer, and then we, just put our minds to moving forward. And thankfully, there were quite a number of people that came out to help us.
One particular helpful group was their First Lutheran small group that's been meeting for over 15 years. Our church family not only helped them rebuild physically, but also supported them emotionally and spiritually.
We are extremely thankful and grateful that we have a faith-based group that we can rely on. Nobody thinks that anything like this would ever come along, and it was just fantastic that they were there for us. I couldn't believe how much work they did put in. It was actually pretty incredible. If you knew the volume of work that had to be done around here, can't thank them enough.
We weren't hurt, and when we talk about relying on our faith, God's been so good to us, and we, as I said, we had the means. When you think about so many people who, without insurance or living in a mobile home or an apartment that got devastated and didn't even have food. I mean, we at least could, drive to Hy-Vee, and we had friends bring us food, or our neighbors that, called us when they had a delivery, So I think what really got us through was family and friends and our faith. And when you think about it, that's what really matters.
The couple says they can identify with today's Bible passage from Isaiah about the stump of Jesse seeming to cut off all things in their lives. Their advice for others facing similar stumps is to always look for the shoots of new life at home in Christ.
In direct relation to a stump, because we have many stumps around here, at first it's like, it's just devastation, and you can't envision how you can move on. It's just overwhelming. But then you have to take it day by day and rebuild, move forward. So actually, as time has gone on and we've done most of the rebuilding, and the trees have budded and now leafed out, yeah, it's been a rebirth and a regrowth, and things are not near as bad as they seemed. It's definitely brighter days for sure.
You can even see up in the front where we ground down the stumps, there's little shoots, there's little baby trees trying to come up. So, you know, we fight through all that adversity and come out the other end. And, you know, it's really, again, it's the faith and the friends and relying on all those elements that really help us come through.